Hi, my name is Liam, and I buy and sell oriental rugs as a hobby. Now, if you're anything like me, or if you have any sort of passing interest in learning about oriental rugs, please subscribe to this channel where I'll post videos like this. You can also follow me on Instagram at LimmyRocco, where I put a lot of my inventory up for sale and do specific educational rug videos weekly. Today, though, we're going to focus on a broad topic of identification, being able to tell the difference between a single wefted rug and a double wefted rug, and why being able to tell the difference between those two is an important distinction in rug identification. To begin, what is a weft? On a macro level, we need to talk about rug construction. So if we think about rugs, you have a fringe on either end and a selvage on either end. And that's the frame of the rug. A warp are the threads that run from fringe to fringe, and the wefts are threads that run from selvage to selvage. And they create this grid matrix, which within the weaver can knot rugs. So that's the basic terminology that we're using. When you hear single weft, it's in reference to the construction. So what is a single wefted rug? A single wefted rug is when the weaver, while knotting, is skipping every other warp thread. So what ends up happening is that you're able to see every other warp thread in a single wefted rug. Let me show this by use of illustration. If we imagine my fingers as being the warp threads, and we take a string and wrap it around every other finger, if you can imagine that string being the knots that the weaver is making, you can see every other finger. So in the final product, that part of my finger would be visible. Whereas in a double wefted rug, it looks a little something like this. And as you can see here, that thread is covering every finger, which means that part of that finger is no longer visible. If you extrapolate that out to where we're thinking about every knot on the rug being pushed together, my fingers would no longer be visible. A single wefted rug, we can see the warp. A double wefted rug, the warp is not visible. Let's take a look at some examples so we can see firsthand what these look like. So this is a Hamadan rug. Hamadans are always going to be single wefted. I've chosen this Hamadan specifically because these warp threads are very, very visible. But you can see them, the white on the brown field, and importantly, those threads are vertical, because sometimes you'll look at the back of the rug, you'll glance at the back of the rug, and all of a sudden you think you see a single wefted rug, but as a matter of fact, it's just the way that the knots are wrapped around the warp that it looks like the warp is visible when in fact it's not. So this one, very clearly vertical threads, that being our warp thread that we can see. So this is clearly a single wefted rug. If we take a look at a double wefted rug, this is an Afshar rug, so this is going to be double wefted. Even if you look very closely, even if some of these seem like they're going vertically at first, if you really look at them, you can see that they're all covered by horizontally running threads. And that's a double wefted rug. The warp is not visible. Okay, so there's the visual distinction between a single weft and a double weft. So why is it important that we as rug buyers and sellers know this? Well, as a rug buyer, as an informed rug buyer, you ought to know this, because here's an example of something that could happen. Say you go into a store, you're talking to a scummy rug dealer like myself, and you're looking for a rug and one catches your eye. And so you talk to the rug dealer, you say, can you tell me a little bit more about this rug? And the rug dealer says, oh, this is a beautiful Saruk rug, early 20th century, this size. And you think to yourself, wow, that's the perfect size. But in the back of your head, you know that a Saruk rug, that's a double wefted rug. So you turn the rug over, and what do you see? You see that it's a single wefted rug. And so now you know that the rug dealer is either ignorant, which he shouldn't be, he's a rug dealer, he should know better, or that he's maliciously lying to you and either trying to get rid of his stock, or, depending on the price, trying to sell you something that's not what he says it is for a marked up price. Because Saruk rugs typically can be more expensive, they're more sought after. We're not talking about price specifically, though. It's really about the principle. This guy says it's one thing, it's another thing. Can you trust him anymore? Of course not. So you move on and try to find somebody else who's going to give you, who's not going to lie to you or be ignorant with you when they profess to be a rug dealer. Somebody like me. Anyway, seriously, that's why you should know the difference between a single weft and a double weft, because whether something is single wefted or double wefted, it might not affect price, but if you're looking for something specific, knowing whether something is single wefted or double wefted immediately disqualifies a certain rug from being produced in a certain area. And even though in that specific case you would have needed to know that a Saruk is typically double wefted, but that's sort of the point of this video, the point of this channel, the point of my Instagram, because I want buyers to be educated because it benefits honest sellers. So if you're interested in learning more about rugs, if you're interested in being a smart rug buyer, consider subscribing to my channel. Really consider following my Instagram page, because that's where we go in depth on specific types of rugs and what to look for when you're looking for specific types of rugs. Anyway, in conclusion to this video, I just want people to be smarter buyers because it makes sellers more honest and it gets you as the buyer exactly what you're looking for. Lastly, if you have any questions or if you have any specifically rug-related ideas or questions that you would like to see future videos on, feel free to comment below. I'm always taking suggestions. Also, you can hit me up on Instagram for any rug-related discussion. My DMs are open for now. Anyway, other than that, I hope this video helped. I hope it makes you a smarter rug buyer, and I'll see you in the next video.